I don't know if Kanye just has really bad luck or he just flat out doesn't care, but seems like he's losing money on basically all of his real estate deals lately. Like, I'm not joking, almost every single real estate deal that Kanye has ever been involved in, he has ended up losing millions and millions of dollars on. And the latest story about his Malibu property is no exception. He just bought this house 2 years ago for $57 million. He went on to completely gut the house, even though it seemed like a perfectly fine house, and now he has relisted it for sale for $53 million. And if you didn't follow the math there, he's on track to lose almost $10 million on this deal, and that's even if he gets his asking price. Getting to that price too, by the way, is going to be very tough. I mean, he's priced way over almost everything else that's for sale in this immediate area, but who knows, maybe that price is justified, maybe there's a method to his madness. Let's take a closer look. The home we're talking about today is located at 24844 Malibu Road in Malibu, California. You can see in this Google view that it's sitting right on the beach, so that's awesome. In typical Kanye fashion, he got the house blurred out from the street. Kind of makes sense though, because a lot of these beachfront homes do have like zero privacy. And side tangent really quick, I've kind of always wondered how people get their houses blurred out like this. Okay, how do you get your house blurred out on Google? Yes, it's pretty easy. So you just go to Google Maps, you enter your address, you go to Street View, you click report a problem, and then you just fill out a little form and you're good to go. Your house is blurred. Pretty cool. Although this does say that once Google blurs out your house, the change is permanent. I don't know if that's a big deal, but cool. Back to Kanye's house in Malibu. He bought this place in September of 2021. It was a nice clean build. Not a ton of photos from back then, but it looked like the house was basically move-in ready when he bought it. That didn't last long though. Of course, Kanye couldn't just buy a $57 million house and, I don't know, actually move into it. Nope, he went on to almost immediately gut the house. He tore the place down basically to just a shell of concrete, and then the work for some reason stopped and he just left this home to sit there exposed to the elements, kind of rotting away. Now the house is all concrete, so you would think that it wouldn't be that big of a deal to leave this place exposed to the elements for a couple of years. But even concrete doesn't last forever. It's super strong, no doubt, but it does start to break down and deteriorate after a while. Plus, I'd imagine that this process is sped up a bit when you have an all concrete house that is built literally right up on the water, that's getting blasted by the sun and the ocean air all day, every day. I did some digging and could not figure out what Kanye's plan ever was with this place. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me that he would buy a house that was move-in ready and, quite honestly, beautiful, then completely ruin it and basically just walk away. Plus, what's even crazier is that the architect behind this place was Tadao Ando. I'm sure you guys have heard of him. He's a super famous and respected Japanese architect who's popular for this brutalist style of architecture that you see with this home. Tadao is the same guy who was behind the architecture at the other concrete house in Malibu that sold recently to Jay-Z and Beyonce. That one went for a record-breaking $200 million. Seems like a sin to me to tear apart a Tadao Ando built house, but what do I know? The realtor who has this listing is Jason Oppenheim from the Netflix show Selling Sunset. He says they priced this home to reflect all of the work that still needs to be done here, and the new owner would need to spend several $1 million to redo the inside of the home after they close. That money would be on top of all of the money that Kanye already spent for his demo work that he's done around the property. This is work, by the way, that he's currently being sued over. The contractor, Tony Saxon, alleges that he's still owed over $1 million for his work on this property. Now, this article from Business Insider is actually pretty crazy. Check this out. So it's titled, "Ye fired the caretaker of his dilapidated Malibu beach house after forcing him to sleep on the floor," according to a lawsuit. Here's a picture of the guy. His name is Tony Saxon. I guess he was a full-time caretaker of the beach house while it was under construction. Scroll down here. So, okay, it says the rapper, formerly known as Kanye West, fired his Malibu caretaker after forcing him to sleep on the floor of his mansion, according to a lawsuit. The plaintiff is that guy Tony, and throughout the entirety of his employment, he was sleeping in makeshift conditions. finding empty spaces on the ground and using his coat as bedding. This says that Saxon was hired in September of 2021 as a project manager and full-time caretaker for this Malibu house. And by October, he had been sleeping on the floor of this mansion for weeks while it was under construction. He told Kanye he was exhausted and overwhelmed. He also had injured his back on the job, and I guess Kanye told him to just suck it up. Wow, check this out. So yeah, this caption says that the employees who are working on this house had to sleep on the floor of this Malibu beach house while they were working here. I mean, I gotta say, wouldn't be all that bad to call this place home for a little while you're working on it, but remember, there's no windows, there's no doors, there's probably no heating or air conditioning or anything like that. So even though, yes, you're right on the beach in Malibu, that's pretty cool, it would probably suck having to sleep on the concrete floor every day for weeks on end. These next couple of paragraphs say that Kanye was telling Saxon to remove the windows and the electricity. He asked him to do some other stuff like move some large generators around the house, which Saxon thought would lead to a fire hazard, but Kanye, I guess, then threatened him, claiming that he would be considered an enemy if he did not comply. Frightening. And this is when the whole relationship basically blew up. Saxon reminded Kanye that he hadn't been paid yet, allegedly, and it was right around now when Saxon got fired from the job, and I think the house just has been sitting vacant ever since. Here's Saxon's Instagram page. I actually sent him a message. I was hoping we might be able to get him on the phone and do like a little Zoom interview with him to talk about all of this, but looks like he is a retired celebrity contractor now, according to his bio, so he's moved on to being an entertainer, a soul singer, and a recording artist, I guess. What's crazy, or maybe not all that crazy or surprising, is that this Malibu house situation is not the first time that Kanye West has had some bit of drama surrounding real estate that he's owned. Back in 2017, he sold a house in the Hollywood Hills for $2.95 million. This was way less than his original asking price, and it was a sale that happened only after the home had sat on the market for a whopping 7 years. He bought a ranch property in Calabasas in 2018. He spent around $6 million here, but the main house appears to be completely abandoned as of the last report. Kanye picked up his childhood home in the south side of Chicago for a few $100,000. He started a renovation on this one too, but it wasn't long until the city issued a stop work order for dangerous and unsafe working conditions. He's got 2 massive ranch properties in Wyoming. He spent around $25 million for about 10,000 acres out here. He did try to sell the Wyoming properties a few years ago, but they never sold, so he took them off the market. The point is, he has spent a ton of money on real estate over his lifetime, and he hasn't always had the best of luck. So Kanye is dumping his Malibu property. As a lot of you guys know, he's also been in a lot of other negative press lately. We won't get into that. But what's crazy is he's actually not completely giving up on his real estate development career. His latest vision while he waits for this Malibu property to sell is that he wants to build a 100,000 acre city out in the Middle East. This one is in the very early stages of development where, according to a tweet, he is recruiting project managers, engineers, architects, and contractors. Apparently the goal here is for this community to be twice the size of New York City. It's called DROAM. I'm not sure what that stands for. And let's put it this way, according to the comments on all of the articles about this story, the internet is not exactly supportive of this plan. It's hard telling what the future holds for this Middle East project, but if I had to guess, this will probably be the last we ever hear of it, and it'll probably never come to fruition. Then as for the house in Malibu, I think that place is probably priced about double what it should be just based on the condition of the home and the comps. Let me know what you guys think about all of this down in the comments. I'll see you next time.